Hello and welcome back to the dugout. Um, this isn't really a kind of a podcast episode. We've taken it upon ourselves. We want to try and preview every single club's Premiership season, and we're going to be doing sort of one-on-one interviews. I have taken four clubs, Laurie has taken four clubs, and Ethan has taken four clubs. This is the first one being recorded right now at the time of recording. I don't know the order that they're gonna go out, but today we're going to be talking about St Mirren, and we've got a very special guest on today to talk about the Buddies coming on for his hat trick ball, Ryan Niven.
Oh mate, I'm delighted to be back on the dugout. I'll be honest with you. I was quite surprised after my last appearance to get the call up again. Obviously, it was jokes were being made left, right, and centre. I probably offended half the planet.
I don't think the public saw most of those jokes, but we'll move on. Also, I forgot to mention, funny that you're here because I've been mentioning it a lot when you're not here, but Ryan Niven, the host of the brand new Pitch and Patter podcast on Spotify. Go follow his socials on TikTok and Instagram. He's been putting the work in. He's been getting some good guests, me excluded. But we've had some good episodes so far. Three have gone out. Number four, at the time of recording, will have gone out on Thursday. Tomorrow, there'll probably, by the time this goes out, there'll probably be many more. So go check it out. And I've really enjoyed listening to them, Ryan.
No, mate, I appreciate that. I watch the dugout religiously every week. I get you up on my TV, watching yous, and mate, you've probably done more promotion of my podcast than I've done of my own podcast at this point, to be honest with you, mate. And I appreciate it, mate. It's flying, it's going well so far, and you know, we're into bigger and better things. We're planning, some exciting things that are coming. Keep an eye on the socials. Some exciting things are coming. We've got some good ideas in the works. Me and a couple of my friends, who work behind the scenes. We've been cooking up some ideas, and I can't wait to bring it all to you. And the dugouts played a big part in my journey too. It's you guys kind of. I've had this idea for about 3 years, and I've sat and sat and sat on it. And you watching you guys, it's like, you know what? These guys are proactive. It's about time I get my finger out and start doing something about, my idea. And it's going well so far, and long may it continue.
Yeah, well, to be fair, we sat on the idea of starting a podcast for maybe about 2 years, because we got together in college, and then we thought about it, and then we had the name in the works for ages because one of our lecturers actually referred to us as the dugout because we were always talking about football instead of focusing on the actual lectures. So we had that in the works for a while, but yeah, it's good that we finally got it done, and you've actually went and done it, Ryan, because yeah, like I said, I've thoroughly enjoyed the episodes, and you've put a lot of work in, and you said that we've been a part of your journey, but seeing you what you've been doing, I've been taking some stuff from you. Hopefully, the dugout will be coming to Spotify soon. We've been thinking about it, but we've never really got round to it. So hopefully that will be the case as well. And looking forward to what the future holds for both our podcasts. I'm sure you'll see um, both of us on each other's podcasts quite a lot in the future.
Yeah, mate, there's going to be a lot of crossovers. I mean, you, Laurie, Ethan, you know what you're talking about. So you're always up there with. I've got a list of people you're always up near the top of people I ask at the start of every week to see come on. I'm a dig Laurie out here. He never gets back to me when I message him about coming on. Uh, Ethan, and you always message and say you're free or we work something out.
Laurie is a busy guy, to be fair.
He
He's always
is,
got
no, but
stuff. He's
he
always
has
got
agreed.
stuff going on.
He has agreed, to be fair, he has agreed to come on Pitch and Patter Live, which is an exciting thing that's coming.
Oh,
Uh,
sweet.
well, we're going to be doing a live show. I'm currently looking at venues
Oh,
to do a
gosh.
live show of Pitch and Patter, and I know at the moment it's only a small podcast, but we're building something, and the culmination of that's going to be a live show, which you, Laurie, and Ethan are all coming out on stage for.
Okay, okay. I'll look forward to that. But yeah, let's stop complimenting each other for a bit, and we'll get on to the football. We've got this is the St Mirren preview. Ryan, you are a St Mirren fan, a St Mirren expert. For the new season, I think we'll start with your manager because there was a lot of rumours circulating around him, but now it seems like Stephen Robinson will be in the job for the upcoming Premiership season, and I'm assuming you're happy with that.
Absolutely, mate. Obviously, we have seen a bit of a manager merry-go-round in Scotland this summer. You've had Presley in at Dundee, you've had McInnes in at Hearts, Kettlewell in at Kilmarnock, Motherwell appointing a new manager, Rangers appointing a new manager. So that's out of 12 teams, that's nearly half the league with a new manager. Um, I think the most important thing was to keep Stephen Robinson over the summer. I think, you know, he he is one of the best managers in the league. People might laugh at that, but I think if you look at his record with what he's done with us, he is one of the best managers in the league. Obviously there was talk of Plymouth. They've went a different route. There was a lot of Championship in England jobs coming up, League One jobs in England coming up. He's obviously always the obvious link with the success, but at the moment there doesn't seem to be any jobs out there for him. So I'm happy that he's going to stay for another season in what, for me is his most important season out of the three we've had so far.
Yeah, can I just go on that and ask why? Why do you think it's his most important season?
I think, in years gone by, we've had top six 3 years in a row. We're not expected to do that, and I think, and I'll be the first to admit, and of course, you can't take anything away from us. We've done brilliantly to do it, and we've picked up the points where it matters, and we've won the games we need to win. But this season, you're looking at the league. There's not really in recent seasons you could look at a St Johnstone, a Ross County, um, a, a Kilmarnock last season, as a place you can pick up 3 points when you need it. This season, you look at the league.
Yeah,
There's no easy games.
yeah. Every game is shaping up now that I think about it. Every game looks like it will be a tough game, definitely.
Yeah, mate. There's no easy games this season. I mean, you look at our fixture list, and we start we start away at Celtic Park, which I'm actually quite happy about. Because
Get it out
at
of
that point they wouldn't have had a competitive game. So, and we would have had four in our legs. So, we can maybe catch them off guard. Then we get Rangers in the third game again, get them out the road. But if you look at last season, um, our if obviously squads are still to be built and squads are still to shape up. But if you look at last season, we don't have to really worry about the Hibs, the Aberdeens, the Rangers. Um, we have to worry about the teams below us and the teams we should be beating, who last season we were failing to beat. So,
Yeah,
it's an
uh,
interesting one.
I think it is interesting that you say that because I personally, I would disagree with that point. I think those sides, Rangers have still got a way to go, but I think Hibs especially and Aberdeen will be stronger this season. Um, I think Hearts will be stronger. I don't know if Dundee United will quite be up there, but I think it will be obviously competitive. I don't. This might be a crazy take, but if Kelly keep signing the way they're signing, I think they could be in for a potential top six push with Stuart Kettlewell. So, um, I get what you're saying, Ryan, but I don't know, and I can't see Rangers losing twice to St Mirren in the season again, and I can't. And Hibs are looking really strong. Those two clubs, especially, I think are my main disagreements with that. But I understand your point.
No, absolutely, mate. Uh, Rangers we shouldn't have beat twice in a season again. 2 years in a row shouldn't do it. For me, um, Hibs are the one for me that I don't worry about. No, they look. There's no doubt they look very strong. They look like a well-oiled machine. They're winning games for fun. But I look at last season. Um, they started poorly, but then they came into it towards the end. But last season, Hibs didn't take any points off us, even when they were at their strongest. They didn't take 3 points off us at all. I think we drew with them twice. I think we drew with them twice and beat them twice. So for me, Hibs, I don't worry about Hibs. We turn up against Hibs for some reason.
Hmm. Were you not saved by VAR on one of those occasions?
Mate, it's they talk about these things balancing out, and that was a case of it finally balancing out in our
Yeah,
favour.
fair, fair enough. You guys are getting done by VAR almost every single week. And it became a bit of a running joke, but I at first I was kind of laughing at you and the other guy, St Mirren fan in our class, Kyle Gunn, who's a good journalist. But yeah, then it got to the point where I was seeing these decisions every single week, and I was going, "Oh my, no wonder they hate VAR." It was outrageous.
Mate, I don't know what the SPFL's agenda against us last season was, but oh my, it can't go on like that this season, surely.
Yeah, there's high. I think it happened to you guys the most, but there was high profile errors all over the place. Against Hibs, Dyson Maeda's cross. Obviously, they deemed it over the line when it wasn't. Couple I can think of for Rangers in the League Cup final. Rangers should have had a penalty in extra time. And funnily enough, against Hibs at Easter Road, Rangers were denied a clear goal as well. So hopefully they can clean up their act across the board this season because it wasn't great at all. But we're steering away a little bit from St Mirren. Let's talk about your signings. Obviously, we've known about Richard King for a while. To me, he looks like a good replacement. That is a solid signing. Obviously, Richard Taylor left to go to Bolton Wanderers, who I feel like on occasion he could have a little bit of a stinker, Richard Taylor, but I thought overall he was solid. You watch Mirren every week, so you can disagree with me. But I think you guys have got it right with Richard King. It will obviously it remains to be seen, but from what I've read and what I've researched on the guy, he looks like a solid replacement.
No, absolutely, and your point about Richard Taylor's spot on, mate. Most weeks he's 8 out of 10 player, but he had an error in him. He had the lapses of concentration in him. He wasn't the complete player. And neither is Richard King, by the way. But Richard King comes highly touted. It's obviously a step up in level for him. Um, but he's been playing for the Jamaican national team. Um, he's highly regarded. We've beaten off interest from English Championship sides. I think it's a very, very good replacement, and I think given well, I have to give him time. That's a point I want to stress. No matter the pedigree, he's going to have to get used to the Scottish game because it's completely different to any other league in the world, in my opinion. The physicality, the intensity, um, it's different, and I think once he settles in, we have got a potential. And I'm gonna put this out there: we've got the potential to make over £1 million on this man because he comes highly touted, and given the chance to develop, he will turn into one of the best players in Scottish football.
That's a big call to make, but I don't think it's too crazy to be totally honest. 23 years old is a really good age, a good years to develop. Give him well, he's contracted until 2027. I don't know if I've mashed it. I've been reading so much news because I've been doing the TikToks, but I don't know if mashed this up in my mind. Does he have an option to extend for a further year? Does the club have an option? Or
I
have I
believe, I believe it was a, I believe we signed him on a 2 year deal with an option of a third.
Yeah, okay. So he's 23. Maybe he has a couple of good years. You sign him for that extra year. or maybe you sign him to a further extended contract or whatever, he hits 25 and he's been really solid, and you could feasibly get £1 million from perhaps a championship club or a club overseas. I don't think it's totally a laughable statement to make at all. Um, I think on our previous podcast, you did mention you needed a right back. You've brought one in. I'm not overly impressed by this signing at all. Jaden Richardson failed spell at Aberdeen, and you've brought him in from Boreham Wood.
Yeah, mate. Look, the signings garnered a lot of mixed opinions amongst the Saints fans itself. For me, every player who comes in, I give him a chance. I
Yeah,
think I think he's judged off that season at Aberdeen, but I think if we look to what happened to Aberdeen that season, it would be unfair to judge him on that season because Aberdeen that season were diabolical and he was
that's the thing though. He barely played in a diabolical Aberdeen side.
that's the thing though. When I don't was it Stephen Glass or Barry Robson at the time, one of the two who were managing them at the time. So guys who just shouldn't be Aberdeen managers, to be perfectly honest. So I'm not going to judge him. And for me, and I've said this because obviously we have our journalism group chat on WhatsApp for our class, and the next signing we're probably going to get onto, people were taking the Mickey a wee bit.
Mm.
And I said, I don't worry when Stephen Robinson makes a signing because 9 times out of 10, bar last season when three of our players, obviously well documented issues, um, Stephen Robinson rarely gets it wrong. And if anyone can get a tune out of a player, it's Stephen Robinson. You've seen it with Curtis Main. You saw it with Olisanya. You've seen it with numerous other players at St Mirren who have maybe elsewhere not been at a good level, not played well,
I
fell
think
by the wayside.
Mikel Mandron's a big one as well that he's managed to, turn into something because previously he didn't look like much at all.
No, absolutely. So I think it's a sign in which, we needed a right back. We've got a right back in. He's got experience in the league, albeit hardly played in the league, but he has got experience in Scottish football. He's exactly what we wanted. An attacking fullback, wing back type player in the system. And if anyone can get a tune out of him, it's Stephen Robinson. So I'm not overly excited, but I'm confident he's going to be a solid addition to the team.
Yeah, I like that. I like that full faith in the manager rather than looking at the face of the quality of signings. I like that. So you alluded to it there. People taking the mick out of Liam Donnelly, who St Mirren have signed from Kilmarnock. Uh, I I'd tend to I wouldn't be disrespectful to him, but I don't think it's not a very inspired signing. Do you know what was quite funny? I think Laurie made a good comparison because we were talking about. I think this is one that is crazy that he's gone where he has, and maybe you guys should have looked at him. We were talking about Mo Salah, and we're talking about how he's good on the ball and he's a bit of a destroyer. And Laurie said Liam Donnelly's a bit like that, just a little bit worse. He can turn out a good performance, but I don't know. And his injury record's not great. He has been a Premiership player for a good while now, but Ryan, what do you make of that? You can talk about whether you think you should have went for Mo Salah and also the signing of Liam Donnelly.
For me, I'm starting Donnelly. Um, Again, full faith in the manager with this one.
Yeah,
He's worked with him before, so he knows how to get the best out of him, is what I'm gonna say. Obviously, he didn't hit the heights expected at Kilmarnock. If we look at it realistically, he only stayed at Kilmarnock because the offers last summer didn't come in for him that he wanted. So he stayed at Kilmarnock for an extra year. So, his injury record, it's not the greatest. Um, hopefully that is behind him. It's been said that's behind him now. So hopefully it can kick on. But look, for me, he's a good squad option. It can come in, put in a good 30-minute shift a game. And I hope it works out. I do. It's not one I'm inspired by, but again, you've got to give every signing a chance. You can't write them off before they've even played a game for you. In terms of Mo Salah, for me, not the right move for St Mirren. And I'd argue, obviously, he's went to Livingston, which no one really saw coming. And I've wound up quite a few Livy fans and on the Dugout's Twitter page saying Martindale can't complain about budgets anymore.
Yes.
Um, but for me, Mo Salah would be a wrong type of signing for St Mirren, and I think a wrong type of signing for Livingston, sorry, because there's no doubt he's a good player technically. He's got good ability. But at 31 years of age, how long can his legs keep up? As well as that, he was part of a Dundee side who were shipping near enough 2 goals every week. It doesn't scream defensive stability.
Yeah, but I don't think that was essentially down to him though. If you look at the way he plays, he's in that midfield. I called him a destroyer. He is. He's in there. He's winning the ball back. He's progressing the play. You know, and I obviously you're the St Mirren supporter, but I disagree. I think he would have been a perfect signing for St Mirren. He is a bit older, but I think his style is very. If we want to dumb it down, he's big, he's strong, he doesn't shy away from a tackle, and a bonus, he's good on the ball. That sounds like Stephen Robinson and Mo Salah as a match made in heaven.
For me, he's a poor man's Alex Gogic. Um, you know,
Gogic doesn't even play in the middle anymore, though. He plays centre back.
to be fair, he plays centre back, but half the time he's in the middle of the park anyway. But we've you need to look for players. When you're in a window like us, and it's quite a big rebuild, obviously this summer, which in recent years it hasn't really been. Um, it's quite you have to have players who challenge the starters. Does does Mo Salah get in ahead of Killian Phillips? No. Does Mo Salah get in ahead of Mark O'Hara? No. Is he a better player than the departed Boyd Muntz? No. So for me, it wouldn't be the right signing for St Mirren. And, I think people forget St Mirren have 20. I think he's 21 now, 21-year-old Fraser Taylor. Um, and I think it's about time we started giving him an opportunity in the team. So to sign a 31-year-old and leave one of the most talented players in our academy on the bench for a 31-year-old, I don't think it's the right move. Um, and I think Fraser Taylor will get a lot more opportunities this season. I think his loan spell at Arbroath showed that he's a quality footballer. The little cameos he had for St Mirren last season before going on loan showed he was a quality footballer. So I don't think most of it would have been the right one for us.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Um, is there any kind of positions and maybe players in particular that you want to see come to St Mirren Park to Paisley?
Well, we need a goalie. Obviously, Zach Hemmings moved to Chesterfield. Um, so we need a goalie. It's reported yesterday Peter Minkski's going to get a chance during pre-season. But this morning actually, Shay Kelly went to Dumbarton on a permanent move. So that's basically us left with just Peter Rominski as our goalie. At this rate, we're gonna see Jamie Langfield come out of retirement. Um, but for me, and this is quite a rogue shout, and it's probably well beyond our means at this point, given the money he's probably on now. He's a Premier League footballer. I would absolutely love it if we could try get Vaclav Ladke back on a loan deal from Burnley. Burnley just signed a new goalie today. They've got James Trafford. So if we can try and make a move for Vaclav Ladke back on loan, I would absolutely love that. The goalie department's obviously the big one. We do need another midfielder. Um, there's not many names screaming out to me. Um, we're linked with a centre back who played for St Johnstone last season, but I completely forgot he played for St Johnstone last season. He got his contract ripped up um in the summer because they got relegated. So he ripped his contract up, and that is Daniels Balodis. We're linked with him, Latvian.
Oh, I saw
Centre.
he was linked with somewhere else as well. I can't remember where it was. I think it was in Europe somewhere.
And then obviously we need another striker. Um, Owen Aseni, he's on his way to Plymouth by the looks of it, in a absolute masterclass bit of business. You know, we signed him in January, started about 2 games, came off the bench about 4 times, and from reports that have came out today, we're banking 800 grand for him, which is some of the best business I've ever seen, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
So we need another striker, one that and I mentioned this on the last time I was on the dugout. Johnny Kenny from Celtic is one that's high up on my list of strikers to try and bring into the club. Um, you look at other options. You
Yeah,
know, you look.
I've got one for you. Sorry, before you might have went to mention him. Maybe you can put some of that money you've been getting to good use and go after a recently relegated player, Ronan Hale.
Well, yeah, mate. That is a player. You know, I said when he went down, it was like he's one we should be looking at. And despite the fact we're gonna get money and potentially get even more money if Ethan Errahon moves on from Lincoln, um, what will Ross County slap on him? What's the fee they're gonna want? You know,
I don't
yeah,
think they can demand too much.
and
According to Transfermarkt, which is not totally reliable with their valuations, he's valued at 650,000.
well, transfer market's got Owen Beck valued at 1.5 million, and Rangers apparently are going to sign him for 5 million. So transfer market's not reliable, and we've seen with Ross County this summer, they've been relegated, but their wage bill seems to be getting higher and higher with some of the signings they're making. So I think they might look in excess of 750k. I think he scored 12 goals last season. Joel Newblade did that at Livingston, and they wanted 1 million for him. So
Yeah,
um,
he earned a
so
Northern Ireland call up as well. Although
that's money on the fee.
saying one thing though, uh, that this sounds incredibly disrespectful, but I think it's kind of based in fact. Who hasn't earned a Northern Ireland call up? you know, I mean, Kyle Vassell's played for the national team. Uh,
Ah, Kyle Vassell's one of the greatest strikers to grace the Scottish Premiership, mate.
say that without laughing.
I can't, mate. I can't.
No, but yeah, I think Ronan Hale would definitely be a good option for St Mirren. I I've not really kept up on the movings of these players, but maybe someone like Adama Sidibe or Benjamin Kimpioka from another relegated St Johnstone.
I mate, Adama Sidibe would be a good shout, but at the same time, if he's linked with a big move, we've seen already a Downs tools. Um, so I don't think that would be a good one. I mean, he was linked with a move, and then the game after he got sent off against Dundee United, banned for 3 games. Down the drain his move went.
Oh, that
Um,
was that was the uppercut in the sensitive area, wasn't it?
it was, mate, it was. But for me, we need as weird as this is going to sound, we need a small striker. We need a fast, small striker because to complement your Mandrons, your Iungers, and the way they play. We need somebody, who can make those runs in behind, who can, get onto the end of the flick-ons. So, Johnny Kenny's up there for me. I was looking at transfer market yesterday, actually. Diego Costa's available on a free transfer. Brett Britt Asabalonga, he's available.
Oh, I
Jared
remember him. He was
DFL.
a little bit of a baller back in the day.
Die, mate. But on a serious note, I've thrown these names at the likes that mum could afford them. I think we should be looking at, go into the lower leagues of England. That's where we're going to get most of our players from. If we can get Tony Watt fit and firing, I would take Tony Watt. But it's getting Tony Watt fit and firing.
My grandmother had wheels, should be a bike. Tony Watt's not been fit and firing for about 10 years. So I don't know if that would if that's a feasible thing. But
He
anyway,
makes good socks though, mate.
eh?
He makes good socks.
Does he have his own sock business, does he?
He started his own sock company, mate.
I like him. He's done a few online things, interviews and podcasts and stuff. He seems like a good guy, but he's not done a lot on the football pitch in many years. So, but yeah, we'll move on swiftly to my final question, Ryan. I want a prediction of where you think St Mirren will place and how you think they will do in the two cups.
Obviously,
Very
it's
early, very
it's
early.
it is hard to give a prediction because obviously our squad's not fully built at the moment. It's nowhere near completion or being fully built. For me, I would love to say we're going to finish in the top six again, but unfortunately, I can't see it. As much as I would love to say I can't see it this season. I think you know Hibs, Aberdeen, um, Hearts should be back to the way they play. Because it's the end of their 18-month spell where they go good and bad alternating. Um, I think Motherwell under this new man, we don't know what he's going to do with them. Kettlewell, we don't know what he's going to do with Kilmarnock. Falkirk for me are a dark horse. Dundee United, again, the league is stacked and it's competitive, But I don't think we'll get top six, but I think we'll finish best of the rest. I think we'll finish in seventh place. In terms of the cups, I'm gonna throw this out there, mate. The only thing Stephen Robinson's not done yet is a cup run to a semi-final or a final with St Mirren. I believe this season we're gonna make. I think we're gonna make the semi-finals of the Viaplay Cup. I
No.
think we're gonna catch. I think we're gonna catch teams at good times in terms of European football. I think we're gonna catch some teams off guard. Scottish Cup. Um, I'm gonna throw this out there again. I think we'll reach the semi-finals of the Scottish Cup too.
Wow, big predictions. From Ryan Niven there for St Mirren's season, two semi-final places, although not a top six finish, which would be remarkable. But yeah, like you said, like I said, it's very early, so but we need to get these sessions done, so we're doing them when we can. But yeah, thank you to Ryan for coming on for this little preview of St Mirren's season. Thank you to you all for watching and listening. Go check out the Twitter at the Dugout 2024. Go check out the TikTok at the Dugout, and make sure you go and check out Pitch and Patter on Spotify and all their social medias. Thank you and goodbye.